Good evening, folks. As you know, I'm Carl. We have our show tonight. I just want to give out this warning. There will be a topic talk tonight that some consider a no-no or it's taboo. I'm sorry. It is involving our family as a wrestling community, and it will be touched upon. There will be language used. So at this time, I will say that it's a PG. It's really not rated for the children tonight. So without further ado, I will start our show, and I just wanted to give that out there.
What's going on, everybody? We are here for another live installment of the Round the Ropes podcast right here on the ATR Network. I'm John. As always, I am joined by the two assholes and Costa.
And we have our first comment coming in, and it is from Andrew. It says, "Hey, Carl. What's up, Andrew?"
But yes, guys, let me throw it around the room, see how everybody's doing. First, let me throw it over to the number one co-host. Some would consider him one of the best ring announcers in the Northeast. And he's actually kind of tall for some of the ring announcers in the Northeast. Mr. Ryan Peterson, the sexy boy himself. Ryan, what's going on?
Oompa loompa doobity Dane. It's always good to see you, Mr. John Blaine.
Okay, Dr. Seuss.
No, in all seriousness, I'm doing great, man. We got a lot of shit to talk about. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh wait, no, we're not PG. Fuck that shit. We got a lot to talk about, and yeah, I'm excited to talk about this shit today. Really am.
Yeah. We have a lot to get to, folks. We'll lay that all out momentarily, but let me throw it over now to our brother across the, over in Canada, Costa. Costa, what's going on, man?
I'm the real tribal chief of this network, right? The real tribal chief, all right? So, yes, I'm doing very well, and as Ryan commented, I am excited to talk about what we have to talk about today because we have a lot of things to get to in regards to this upcoming weekend in terms of wrestling events. So, guys, let's get to it. Let's have fun, and let's make it the best show we can make it.
We always have fun, especially when we pick on John.
Exactly.
Can we at least try to go 4 minutes before we start picking on me, please?
No, that's the way it should be, picking on you as soon as we start.
Yeah, exactly.
Great. Now I'm craving a Happy Meal.
Let me throw it over to the guy right now who loves to pick on me, but I know he'll always have my back. I call him Mr. Baldy. I also call him the guy who's a couple years away from the AARP discount at Denny's, Mr. Roberts. Carl, what's going on?
Not much. Can't wait to talk about what we went through this past weekend, what we saw since our last show, and what we got coming up for not only this weekend, but starting next month.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. And folks, we'll get all into that. As always, if you watch us on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. It costs you nothing. It does wonders for us. While you're there, hit the bell. You'll be notified as soon as we have any videos coming up or any interviews coming up. That's where you'll get that. If you follow us on Facebook, go like and share the page. Go like and share this video. Share it with your friends, family, your sister's ass. Who cares? Get the word out there on this great show that we have here. Now, want to get into what? Yes, Ryan?
I'm sorry to interrupt, gentlemen. I actually do want to say something in the beginning of the show. I said this a few minutes ago off camera. I think it's kind of redundant. I'm wearing, the shirt right now. From all of us at the ATR Network, I want to send best and a speedy recovery to Joe Doring.
Yes.
For those that don't know, Joe Doring's been a part of Impact Wrestling for a long time, even before the pandemic even started. And unfortunately, this past weekend in Dallas, when they were doing their TV tapings, he had to pull out because he had to pull out of Impact completely due to health concerns. And about an hour ago, they released what the health concerns were. Apparently, he's been battling brain cancer for the last 6 years. And unfortunately, this past weekend, it came back. So in the upcoming weeks, he's going to be having surgery.
Oh, man.
That's something you don't want to mess with.
And he's only 40, mind you.
Shit. Okay.
So I just want to throw it out there in the beginning. Best wishes to Joe Doring and his family during this tough time. Believe me, I know how it feels with someone in their family having brain cancer. My grandmother had it for a year. Trust me, it will. Trust me, he will get through it. So just want to throw it out there. But now, Mr. Oompa Loompa, let's get on to the first topic of the day.
Yeah.
Let's get into the topic. Me and Carl had the honor and the privilege to be up in Albany this past weekend for the International Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame as they had their 2022 Hall of Fame induction ceremony this weekend. And I'm going to say this right off the bat. I want to send a shout out to everybody at the Hall of Fame for who welcomed us in with open arms, me and Carl, because it was an experience I'll never forget, and I know Carl will definitely never forget as well.
Nope.
But let's start off actually with the independent show that we saw Friday night. NYCW had a show up in that area, and they had good matches. Carl, would you at least agree with me on that?
Yeah. Well, I should say some of them were good matches.
Yeah, some of them.
I'm not going to get chastised by somebody, but yeah, there was some good matches.
Oh yeah, I'm not disagreeing. And we said it Friday night. The two best matches we saw featured both Christina Marie as she took on
Adina
Steele, and then the tag team match.
Death Row versus oh crap, I can't even remember what their names are, but it's Felipe and Sebastian Cage.
It's like Estados Unidos, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
But those two were the best matches
for the men, and Christina Marie versus Adina Steele was the best for the women.
Yeah, it was.
I'm sorry, folks. I'm not going to pull punches on this show. On this one,
yeah.
No.
Okay, I'll put it this way: they were the least botchiest. Let's put it that way.
Oh yeah.
Is that too harsh to say?
No, that's like nailing it right on the nose.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm not somebody who notices things like that right away. I mean, if you guys have watched the show, I'm very oblivious to certain things. But even I noticed it Friday night that there was a lot of matches there that didn't make sense. Also, I thought there was too many matches.
And how many matches were there, gentlemen?
11? Yeah.
Yeah, Ryan. 11.
Oh, wait, hold
on.
on.
They literally cut the intermission out.
That was my next question, and fuck.
Yeah. I mean,
Let's just put it this way. The ring announcer for that entire show was pissed.
Good friend of the show, actually, of our show.
Yes.
And he's all right.
Well,
I love Mike.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit less because he threatened to kill me, but that's another story. Mike, if you're watching this, I love you, buddy.
But it wasn't even that though. I mean, so we had that Friday night. Saturday you had the meet and greets.
Correct.
And yeah,
you forgot one thing. Friday night at the wrestling show, they actually had a coffee vendor. Motor oil coffee. I'm a coffee drinker. Okay, so I know the different tastes of coffee. I went back 10 times minimum for a cup of coffee.
I think I went back 8.
folks, we'll put this on our social medias. We'll tag them and all. But they actually have a coffee out there called Hot Tag. And that is for the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. I recommend everybody going to buy it.
Mm-hmm. And I'm in agreement on that.
Because not only did you have it, we had it on Friday, they were there the entire weekend with us.
And also,
oh my gosh.
Also, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't it all organic by any chance?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. And I know Carl had the hot one. He also had cold brew Friday night, which I had.
Mm.
And I kept going up.
Cold.
Hmm?
Nothing.
I went up at least.
Picasso caught it.
I went up a couple of times, and it was probably some of the best coffee I've ever had.
Wow.
And
like
folks,
I said, it was a Sumatra flavored coffee. That was a light roast. There's 5 different flavors to this stuff. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I actually bought a bag. So tomorrow, while I'm doing my morning routine here at the house, I am going to be having a huge pot of that ready for me.
But yes, it was definitely.
And anybody that turns and tells me I drink too much coffee can kiss my ass. You can't drink enough coffee.
Hey, boss, you said it was organic, right? So that
Yes,
means
sir.
that means I can drink it too, because I
Correct.
only drink organic products. So it's good for me too, I guess. So
Yes.
yeah,
Yep.
that's great.
Yes, and then so we had that coffee that was there was fantastic. It was great. Saturday we had the meet and greets, and again it was obviously me and Carl. We didn't go into the meet and greets. We kind of hung out outside. But the people we met outside were some of the nicest people we could have ever met.
That entire weekend, we were with some of the amazing people
Yes,
that were not performers. They were fans just like us. They treat you like family up there, and that's what I love the most.
I mean we were out there. And I'm like,
They actually knew. Some of them actually knew who we were.
Mhm.
Hey, okay. And some of them even subscribed right there on the spot when we told them what we do.
And here's the funnier part. At one point, Carl went back in to go get a cup of coffee, and who comes walking out? I'm not kidding you, folks. It was Virgil.
We
Yeah,
were
it-
standing at a table talking with Virgil.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Yeah.
He is the most down-to-earth person in the world.
Yes.
And
And then,
if you meet him, you better give him that fuck money.
He didn't ask for money for standing
Nope.
by talking to us.
No, I'm saying if you see him in a meet and greet, give him that fuck money. He's worth it.
Oh, yeah. Then I just have to tell this quick story. We're at lunch on Saturday. I'm not telling that one, Carl. I'm not telling the one you're thinking I was going to say. We're sitting at lunch, and we were just talking. It was me, Carl, Mike, and another one of the people who we met.
Miss
Oh,
Billy.
Yes. Hi, Billy.
Miss Billy, who is actually watching us. And thank you, Billy. We love you on this show.
Yes. And we were talking about how now, folks, if you know, we talked about this on the show before. Carl can be an asshole at shows. I'm just being straightforward right now. But I have to give him credit. Friday night, he was actually very well behaved.
Yes, I was.
Yes. And he turned around and he was saying, it's our first time up there. We want to make a good impression. And Mike turns around to him and goes, what industry are we going to get?
But then I turned around and gave him the valid reason why I behaved.
Oh, yeah.
There was more kids at this show on Friday than normally what any of the shows I go to.
Really? That much?
Yeah.
There was a lot of families there.
Wow.
So, Ryan, you know me very well.
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay. So if there's a lot more kids, I'm quiet.
Yeah, because you blend in with the crowd.
You're an asshole.
But no,
I love you as a brother. But I
Sorry.
didn't want to. Not only that, I'm out of my comfort zone. I'm out of state.
And also,
Yes,
you know, and also there could be like some families up there that, you know, don't like that type of shit, and they're like, "Oh, you ruined the experience for my kids."
yes,
But not only that, there's another bigger reason why I was behaved. The wrestling show was in conjunction with the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. Sorry, International Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. I got to get it right. We are a proud sponsor of it. How would it look if I was my normal self at a show that we are a co-sponsor of a show? So in my head, I try to say, okay, I have to be on my best behavior. I can't be my normal self.
but here's the funny part of the story. While we're talking about this at the table, Dory Funk Jr. comes walking into the restaurant. And Mike turns around and makes a great comment. He turns around, he goes,
The best comment in the world.
"In what industry do you have an 85-year-old Texan walking around with a bullwhip and nobody says anything to him?"
He carries that bullwhip in his hand almost everywhere he goes.
And for some people up in Albany, that's a normal Saturday for them.
Yeah. But then we had the actual ceremony itself, and they inducted a lot of people. Stone Cold Steve Austin got inducted. Carl Gotch got inducted. A slew of people. But Carl, I think you'll be in agreement with me that the two people that night who got the biggest ovation, actually the three people, was Dory Funk,
Yes.
Azalea,
Oh, yeah.
and Anthony.
Correct. Now, for those of you that don't know, Anthony was incarcerated and was exonerated from it after 18 years. And what kept him going was wrestling.
Yeah.
So wrestling is involved in a lot of different things than people give it credit for. And he works to help innocent victims that are incarcerated in jail. Now, getting to Miss Azalea, the biggest standing ovation a young girl can get was done. They also brought in a guest speaker for her. And Ryan and John both know this person. He's been on our show before, and it is Mr. Shane Fair, who is a ring announcer. And he gave the story of how he first met Azalea, didn't know that much about her, and got to love her. And also explained how the wrestling community comes together around her. Anytime something's needed, they're right there. And if you go to the independent shows, you see her in a referee shirt. She's got her own referee shirt and all. Her dress that night was black and white, just like a referee's shirt would be.
Yeah.
But John, you forgot another important thing that happened that night.
Okay.
One of the inductees, Mr. Fred Beal, who was a police officer after his career as a wrestler, turned around and was inducted. Well, after his career, he went in to become a law enforcement, an officer of the law. He lost his life. The only one that has ever lost his life in the line of duty for this town. The Hall of Fame had the police chief there because everybody in that town who's in the law enforcement in that area knows about Mr. Fred Beal and gave him a small plaque, which is an exact copy of the plaque that's in the Hall of Fame, and is the only one that will ever be an exact copy sent to a police department.
Wow.
Yeah.
And to get back to the whole thing with Azalea, I do like to show a photo if it actually comes up properly on here, because after you mentioned about Azalea, folks, this is Azalea with the dress that Mr. Carl was talking about, alongside the president of the International Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame,
Mr. Seth Turner.
Very nice guy, by the way.
Yes. Very tall.
Yeah, that's my understatement. Yeah.
But, yeah, when I first saw that photo, when I first saw the photo of like her posing with the, some of the inductees, including Booker T, I was like, that's a ref stripe inspired dress, isn't it? And I'm like, yep, that's it.
And then one other thing I want to add is I wouldn't say this wasn't a typical dum-dum moment of mine, but this was one of those moments that I basically I hit myself in the head a couple times Saturday night because of this moment.
Is this the one I think you're going to talk about, John?
Uh-huh.
I'll be right back.
We're standing outside, outside the meeting, outside right before it
was the cocktail hour.
Yes, it was cocktail hour. And we're talking with a lot of people. I met Dan Severin there. Obviously, we saw our friend Bushwhacker Luke was there.
Booker T,
a lot of them. This guy comes up to me. I didn't know who he was. And we start talking. And I'm talking to him like he's just a regular fan. And Carl's like biting his lip because he knows exactly who this guy is. It doesn't register in me who this guy is. So we're at the ceremony, and when we mentioned about Carl Gotch getting inducted, the reason why I mentioned that is Jody Malenko, who's the brother of Dean Malenko, was the one who inducted him. Jody was one who came up to me in the cocktail hour, and I had no idea who the hell he was. Yeah. So I had that lovely moment.
I was waiting for that one.
Yes, I had that moment.
You asshole. And just for that, I'm craving popcorn now. Delicious.
But yeah, I had one of those moments. But
hey, Ryan, real quick, you're talking about popcorn.
Yeah.
You should write the next eulogy that's about to come.
Courtesy of the Malenko family.
I was about to say it. Does anybody remember when John included?
Gentlemen, we have a new comment who is also from a new subscriber. Miss Billy, how are you? Great meeting you guys. What an awesome weekend. Jody just loves it when people don't know who he is. Slap my ass up. Yes.
Yes. Yes, that was definitely a moment I'm never going to forget.
And Billy, Billy, I'm sorry I couldn't make it up there myself to contain these two, but mostly him.
Yes. Hey, I behaved myself.
Says the guy who didn't know who Dean Malenko's brother was. And that shut him up.
I'm the guy who included a eulogy in a popcorn ad in a eulogy. So.
Jesus Christ.
But I will say this much, though. Overall, the weekend was fantastic. It was great meeting everybody up there that we did. And I'm going to say this. I know, Carl, you can agree with me. If not, I thank them all for welcoming us into that family.
Oh, yes. And also, too, John, I will put it right here on the air. Next year, when they announce when the rooms go open, we're going to get the rooms.
Yes.
Because the hotel you walk through, it looks like you're walking through a street.
Okay, hold on. Do you want to tell the other story walking through that street?
Oh. So we're going to... Was it the cocktail hour? Yes. It was going to the cocktail hour. And we walked through the lobby, and we're starting to walk down the courtyard. There was a wedding going on. All of a sudden, the groomsmen come out. Then the priest comes out and sees us two and goes, "Hey, guys, you want to crash a wedding?" I was like, yeah, no. If I wasn't going to dinner, heck yeah, I'm crazy enough. I would do it.
But, yeah. But like I said, it was definitely, the whole weekend was fun. Being up in that area for a couple of days was definitely fun. And we can't wait for next year's.
Exactly.
And Carl, we're also forgetting the restaurant we went to on Friday. The seafood?
I forgot where I put the menu. I think I left it downstairs.
Folks, if you're ever up in the Albany area, and if somebody who's watching us can let us know the name of it, we appreciate that. Right next door to the MVP Arena is a seafood restaurant.
Something Shrimp. Right on Pearl Street. Up there.
And
we have a good comment coming through here from our good friend, Mr. Seth Turner. Jody Malenko is a trained shooter taught by Carl Gotch.
So that's a little bit of a history lesson.
Yes. Thank you for that information, Seth. And thank you for a wonderful weekend. We can't wait till next year.
Yes.
And I will make it a point to join them.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
So you will have two, as we put it here, two of the four pillars of independent wrestling announcement up there.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that's going to be a lot of fun.
But it was, what was also nice though is how many people also loved our shirts, loved our logo. And we also forgot to mention one of the guys who did some of the artwork for the said Hall of Fame is also a good friend of the show. Oh no, what now?
And he did Sarah's stories. Actually, Seth, to be honest with you, we didn't get a chance to talk with him, but we heard a lot of the stories that he was telling while he was up there.
Yes.
By the way, the name of the place, I remember you guys were telling me about it so much. Ballistic Shrimp.
Ballistic Shrimp.
Thank you. That's it. Ballistic Shrimp. Oh my God, guys! I got a shrimp taco, burrito. No lie, it's got to be big. You can't tell on the screen, but it's a big piece.
Mm-hmm.
I'd also like to emphasize that you said they loved our logo.
Yes.
It was definitely, the whole weekend up there was fun. And I thought the biggest moment, in my opinion, obviously, you had all the other moments, but for me, doing the show was when they were doing the intermission at the induction ceremony, and they were putting up on the screen all the sponsors. And I happened to glance back for a second, and it was our show was up there. That to me was the validation that we made it. But again, to Seth, to Mike, to actually both Mikes, everybody up there who we met, you know who you are. We're very grateful that we got to meet you guys. Very grateful that you guys welcomed us into the Hall of Fame family. And like I said, can't wait for next year's.
Oh, yeah.
And also, I have a possible idea going through my head for next year, but we'll talk about that off air. We'll talk about that off air.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
But, guys, as much as I love to talk about what happened this weekend, I think we have some wrestling coming up this week.
I think so.
Now, before we get into this weekend coming up, why don't we hit Monday Night Raw? Because there was a big, I would say, promo cut.
Oh, yes.
Oh, hell yeah. I love that, by the way.
Yes.
One particular individual by the name of Edge.
That wasn't the promo I was thinking.
See, he basically told Judgment Day what happened to him and what is possibly going to transpire. Because they also added another storyline into it that's been going on for a couple of weeks now.
And what was that?
The Dominic and Rhea Ripley.
Yes.
So they incorporated a few things all in one.
And I think they announced that the match is going to be Finn Balor and Priest versus Edge and Ray. I think it's.
Well, we'll get to that later on when we go over the card and give our review. So that's
But I want to get to the one that happened with Matt Riddle and Seth Rollins.
Oh, that one. Yes.
That's the one I was talking about. That's the one I was talking about. Yeah.
Well,
Because-
I was going to get to that one too, but see, Edge's one was pretty big too, because he blatantly turned around and told Rhea that Beth will kill her.
Yep.
But yes, the Seth and Riddle.
Oh my God.
I'm going to say this right here. That was not a work. That was legit.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was. It definitely was.
Especially how Riddle reacted to Seth.
Not only that, there is a video out there. I forgot who's got it out there on their Twitter. They actually met out in the parking garage. That security and referees had to break them up.
And the part that I found very interesting, there was no video cameras there.
No.
Well, if I remember correctly, didn't Seth and Riddle have issues for a long time?
If you remember, John, they were supposed to have their SummerSlam match.
Yes. No, but even before that, though, wasn't there stories that had come out saying that they had heat with each other? If I remember correctly.
Something like that.
I remember Riddle having heat with somebody, but I don't know. I
know Riddle had heat with Goldberg. That I do remember.
Yeah, that I remember. Yeah, that I remember. Yeah. I remember
Basically, everybody's had heat with Goldberg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like the passion though in Riddle.
Oh my God.
And the big thing also I liked is that wasn't okay, here's a camera, here's a set of a script right behind.
Billy says it was a well orchestrated work. Triple H knows what he's doing.
Oh yeah,
And
that's
that's
true.
That's true.
She is not wrong
because
on
he
that.
knows what the viewers want and what the talent want.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why he was so great when he ran NXT.
But this is also,
And I'm going to admit this right here on air. I can't stand NXT right now.
No.
But Triple H will make it better. He'll make it
Although,
better.
a little bit of NXT breaking news, though. They just announced who the women's tag champs will be facing at Worlds Collide.
oh,
Because a certain tag team from the main roster came down and challenged them.
Oh.
Oh.
How does Doudrop and Nikki ASH sound?
Oh, wow.
wow.
They're going back home.
Just like Apollo Crews.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You know, this is funny how people are going back to NXT. You don't hear many people going up. They're going down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
Because I think Carl, I see where you're coming with that. Because I think a lot of times, especially now that you do have Hunter running things, is he's not going to sit there and let a talent sit on the sideline and not use them. If there's
Exactly.
use for them in NXT, they'll go back to NXT. I mean, great example. Look at Dolph Ziggler. He went back down to NXT for a couple weeks leading into WrestleMania, if you remember. He was doing that whole angle with Braun Breaker.
Mm-hmm.
Won the NXT title and then lost it to Breaker the Monday after Raw.
Yes.
So I think with Hunter, I think you're going to see a lot more. Is you're going to start seeing a lot more of the main roster guys come down. Because it's also good cross promotion. What's up?
To possibly help elevate the up and coming stars of NXT.
Okay, hold on. If they're going to do that, I got to say this. What they need to do on NXT is that Windy Choo woman that comes out in the pajamas, please change her damn character. I'm sorry, you making her look like a damn joke.
And I think they're going to, because if you realize a lot of those character changes was because of Vince and Bruce Pritchard and all those guys. And all those guys are almost out the door. And I say almost because Bruce is still with the company.
For now.
But Triple H did say one thing. There will be no more name changes.
No, I don't like that.
Which I think that's why they went back to Matt Riddle.
Not only that, I think Butch is going back to Pete Dunne.
Please!
And apparently Theory now is going to be called Austin Theory, which is, I'm glad.
I don't care much about Theory, but please give Butch back his name, please.
I hated that name, Butch.
Which means then you know what else it's going to lead to, right? If they're going to start going back to the original names, it means Walter's going to come back.
Oh yeah, that needs to happen too, for real.
Think about it. And I'm glad though that we're starting to see in a short amount of time. And Hunter's had control for about a month now.
Yeah.
I mean, you see, and we always talk about ratings on the show. You see a huge jump in both Monday Night Raw and SmackDown when it comes to the ratings.
There's one more thing on Raw that's kind of piquing my interest now.
Okay.
How about Dexter Loomis?
Yes.
I'm loving that shit. I love it.
Because the nice part with that, though, Ryan, it's almost going back to the Attitude Era in an instant. Because it's like you don't know you don't know if he's a heel or a face. You don't know who he's going after.
And it's funny you mentioned, going back to the Attitude Era. That promo with Seth and Riddle. You guys can, I haven't felt that much energy in a side-by-side promo like that since I'm throwing way back now, and you guys can disagree with me. Chad says I don't give a shit. Since the whole shit with Brian Pillman Jr. putting up a gun on Steve Austin.
Oh yeah, but you have to also realize
That's how intense I thought that felt.
With Riddle and Rollins, you have to remember we didn't get that match at SummerSlam, so they've had extra time to really build it up. And obviously, we'll get more into Clash at the Castle at the second half of the show tonight. But that's one of the matches I'm looking forward to big time. Because one thing, and if people who have watched the show know, I'm very big in emotional investment when it comes to a wrestling match.
That's the way it should be on every match.
Oh yeah, but you look at Riddle and you look at Rollins.
I'm sold.
That match to me is how fast can Riddle get down that ramp on Saturday and just beat the ever living crap out of Rollins? Because that to me is not going to be a match. That's going to be a fight.
That's going to be a death match.
Oh yeah, yeah. Thank God weapons aren't part of it, or somebody probably walking out of there.
How about this? How about they actually start showing blood again, and that's your first match to show blood?
That wouldn't shock me. That would not surprise me.
Remember, they went back PG.
Yeah.
Is that official yet, or no, I don't think that's official yet. Is it? They went to TV14.
I will say though, on the blood thing, that's kind of a tough situation, honestly, for health reasons, because especially with the scare of hepatitis being in the bloodstream, you never know.
Hold on a second. I'm going to say this.
Go ahead.
Moxley loves bleeding.
Oh, Moxley's a crazy son of a bitch.
Riddle is an MMA fighter.
Yeah.
Not UFC, Ryan.
I know. Wasn't he in the UFC, though?
No, he was MMA.
No. Yeah, he was MMA.
Shut up, John.
But, I mean, you look at with what we're seeing on Monday Night Raw, there's I remember especially now, you're coming out of SummerSlam. Obviously, your next big event is your next premium live event that's big is Survivor Series in November. Obviously, I know we got Clash coming up on Saturday. You got Extreme Rules coming up in October. They always talk about the fall of the falls happening every year for a long time, especially you have the start of the NFL season coming up in a couple of weeks. Yes,
Wait,
Ryan?
What's the pay-per-view in October?
Extreme Rules.
There's where your first blood match will be taking place if they bring it back. Extreme Rules. Go back to the old school style when they used to do Extreme Rules, where every single match had a different stipulation.
And also, if I'm not mistaken, I think Extreme Rules this year is in Philly.
Oh.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so bring back the stretcher match, ambulance, last man standing, first blood, submission match. Do the gimmick style matches that Extreme Rules once was, not just, possibly one match and just a standard pay-per-view. No! Just do the one show a year where every freaking match is a different stipulation. And like what Carl said, if they do a first blood match, that should be the first one. Because come on, that Philly crowd will eat it up! They'll eat it faster than someone having a ton of cheesesteaks out of Tony Luke's.
But this is what I'm... Mm-hmm.
How about this? Do you remember when the fans used to pick the matches?
Oh,
Cyber
yeah.
Sunday. Cyber Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Or Taboo Tuesday. Remember that shit?
Oh, yeah. Because one of them is where Eric Bischoff got shaved bald by Eugene.
Yep. And Jonathan Coachman wore a dress, too?
Yet Jonathan Coachman had to wear the dress. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome to bring back.
Hey,
Some of the
WWE.
old pay-per-views, yes, I would love to see them bring them back.
I think that would be perfect, especially now with WWE wanting to attract more of the younger audience. And what does the younger audience love to do?
Hey man, I want to see Unforgiven bring. I want to see them bring
Yes.
back. Yeah.
Oh,
Also-
wait, I got one better. How about Armageddon?
Yeah.
Okay, but the other thing also, I would love to have it where the sets are not the same every freaking pay-per-view.
Yes.
I mean, I remember those old sets back in the days.
Yeah.
Hell, even when they did even when they switched over to HD, the sets were still different.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that would be beautiful to do that.
It's funny. I can imagine these if they brought back Cyber Sunday. Remember the big old like monitor? The
Yes.
Oh, and everyone's coming out from like the little base, and the ramp is a keyboard.
And if you remember, the fans had to use their phones to pick what it was that for that match.
Everyone was on their phone. No, actually, no. It wasn't on their phones. It was on the website back in the day.
That's right.
Yeah, but you can redo it now to be on your phone.
They can do it there.
I mean, like I said, WWE is trying to attract that younger audience. Why not do that? I think that would be perfect.
The try it. Okay, here's my problem. What about the whole thing? Yeah, even when Mr. Hush Money was still running it, he was trying to attract to the audience, but the problem was he was attractive for those that still watch Barney.
John.
I mean, seriously. Like he was trying, they're either trying to appease either the 21 and over or the 7 and under. But what about the 8 to 20-year-olds? That demographic. Nowadays, everyone is on their phones. No one wants to see some.
Gentlemen, this is coming from Billy. Gentlemen, you're forgetting something very important. WWE does not have pay-per-views anymore. They're premium live events.
Billy, I never met you, but I don't care. I still call them pay-per-views, goddammit. Premium live events can kiss my ass. It's pay-per-views. Because technically, you're paying a streaming service to watch the fucking show. Ta-da! Jesus Christ!
Don't piss her off.
Yeah, don't piss her off. I will agree on that.
That's why I apologize in the beginning. Sorry, Billy. Hey, fuck you, John.
What did I do?
Nothing, you overgrown Oompa Loompa.
Okay. Again,
folks, we're here to have fun. I'm safe. Thank you.
John, don't forget to have your Happy Meal today.
Hold on. John's acting like a millennial now.
That's because he forgot his Happy Meal.
No, Ryan, if we're going to do that right, you have to do it like this.
You do that every day, John.
Jesus.
Oh, I forgot we're still in the air.
Yeah, let's not pull back the card that much there, buddy.
Too late.
Gotta keep, But yes.
But the problem also too is they partnered up with Peacock. If they stayed on their own with their network,
oh my God,
it would be a hell of a lot better because they got so much problems with Peacock. You look at Twitter during any pay-per-view, John.
Premium live events.
Hell no. It's pay-per-view, John.
Thank you.
Stay in timeout, man.
Anytime they have a pay-per-view, you look at the Twitter, it's exploding how much shit is going wrong with Peacock. The volume's not there, or people can't subscribe right.
The first pay-per-view, that they brought fans back, Money in the Bank. 90% of the Money in the Bank match of the men's match wasn't even shown because they had connection issues.
Exactly.
That usually happens a lot of times. But I mean, okay, but how many times when we had the network was that happening on the network?
Not as much.
Yeah, but you guys know,
very minimal, very minimal.
Hold on. There is a way that you can have the network on, right? If you do the VPN thing.
Yeah.
Hold on, guys. I gotta tell you something. In Canada, we still have the only network still. So I'm home free.
Kick
I'm
him
home
out.
free when it comes to Peacock.
Kick
Everything
him
is on the
out.
network. Everything is on the network. You guys should come down here. Everything is on the network, buddy. So I'm home free. I don't need Peacock.
Oh, just wait, buddy. It's coming up. It's coming up
He's
north.
muted now. He's in timeout.
Come on.
Costa, fair warning. It's coming soon, buddy. Just letting you know.
The only person that goes in timeout is John Boy over there. So
Yeah.
yes, John. What would you like to talk about now?
I don't even know. I don't know where I want to go with that one. But no, I'm obviously, we're seeing a lot of changes with Hunter in the last couple of months. And in the last couple of months, he's been running for about a month now. So I still have a lot of hope. Not a lot of hope. I know he's going to make it better. There's the other,
a little hope.
hold on. There's that other company though that I just like to get into for a little bit before we get into the pay-per-views that we have coming up this weekend.
You mean AEW?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're an AEW fan, you're not going to like what I'm about to say.
Oh, come on, John. All right.
No. You guys know one of the things I always talk about is ratings.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the numbers. Okay? And AEW this past week that had Moxley and Punk on for a 5-minute match. That was being talked about for weeks.
Yeah.
And I think, and I could be wrong on this, I think they pulled in overall 980, I think it was. With what we're seeing right now in the WWE, and they're pulling off 1.5 and up, AEW has to get their head out of their ass and realize that they cannot continue to cater towards the wrestling nerds, if you want to call it that. They're going to have to start attracting the casual fan. Because, and I know people chastise WWE for what they do a lot of times, but you look at AEW, okay? At least with WWE, you have certain matches there that make sense. They tell a good story. How many times do you watch AEW and it's, okay, we're going to put the Young Bucks up against the Gun Club? No build, nothing. Just because you want to put them in a tag team match. AEW has to start catering towards the casual fan. And I understand it's the network they're on. I get that. I know we've had this discussion in the past. But they have to do something. They have to at this point. It's for a while it was okay, you can get away with it because of what WWE was pulling off. But I'm sorry, now that Hunter's running creative for WWE, it is imperative that they do something.
John,
what's up?
What they need to do is start bringing some of these talents that are on Dark and Evolution up to Dynamite and Rampage.
I don't disagree.
Or
it's the same fucking people every week on Rampage or Dynamite.
Or if they want to use that talent, utilize that talent, how about starting a fucking Ring of Honor? Because didn't they not buy the company?
Yeah.
But the thing is also, here's the thing also though, even like with the matches, like you, and I know I'm going to get chastised for this, but look at a Young Bucks match, for example. Can you guys, in all your honesty, and people who watch this, you can respond as well. What was there ever a Young Bucks match that told a story?
Fuck no.
Remember?
I do kind of have one, maybe.
Which would be
the Bucks versus Omega and Page from like 2 years ago.
That probably
the best friends going against each other for the tag titles.
That was probably the only one I can think of. But then on the flip side, okay, look at WWE. How many times do you see a match where a guy, and I'm talking about some of the legends in this industry, your Austins, your Rocks, Undertakers, where it was a few moves and the match was done. But you still got a satisfying match. To me, AEW has to stop this. Okay, we have a 20-minute match. How many tope suicidas and how many 450s and how many acaitos can we do in a match? Because to me, you're not going to keep a fan watching. Yeah, you're gonna have your fans who are gonna watch it and go, "Ooh, look, Matt Jackson's gonna do a 450." But if you have somebody who wants the emotional investment part of it, like we've been talking about, you're not going to keep them. And I think that's what's going to kill their ratings down the road.
I will say though, about AEW this past week, they had a couple of good matches on there.
Oh yeah, they did.
They just have like 2, maybe 3 good matches the entire show. First of all, they opened the show with Dax Harwood and Jay Lethal.
Yes.
Which that was phenomenal. And then the main event.
You know why? It's
Because
old school wrestling.
Exactly. And that main event, the tournament first round match with United Empire and Death Triangle.
Yes. Oh yeah. But
especially the sequence when you have Ospreay standing on the top rope. Phoenix comes in, tries to do a little Hurricane Rana, flips Ospreay over. Ospreay just stands, back on his feet like a cat, and a cat laying on his feet, walking like it's nothing, and then turned around and Phoenix, does his rolling senton into the cutter, and that segment alone, I was like,
yeah,
I love it.
But it's funny though. You bring that up, and in that moment, okay, it was good for the match that was there.
Yeah.
But when you have 4 or 5 Young Bucks match, and that's pretty much all they're doing, to me, I change the channel.
How many super kicks?
Too
And
many.
I'll tell you right now, super kicks are not what they used to be.
No.
Super kicks are not what they used to be. Because to me, when you see guys like the Young Bucks doing it, and they're doing 20 in a match, I mean, go back to the days when Shawn was wrestling, and he would do a super kick, and
that was it. That was the finish.
Because unfortunately, the big problem with AEW is they don't protect the finishers anymore.
No.
I mean, I'll give you another example.
I don't think anybody protects finishers, though. The same thing happens in WWE as well.
But I'll give you another example. We talk about Jake the Snake Roberts. Definitely a legend in this industry. His finisher was the DDT.
Yep.
You look at AEW, you look at any promotion. That's not the DDT. Okay, it's just a move in a match. When he did it, you knew the match. Like I said before, with Shawn, that was it. The match was done.
Yep.
But I just think you look at with AEW, if they don't start attracting the casual fan and start getting consistent numbers of over 1, it's going to be a tough road for them. And I'm being straightforward right now. It's going to be a tough road for them. And I'm only saying that because of the fact that you got Hunter, and unfortunately, this is one story we forgot to mention last week. You have Hunter, you have Road Dogg, you have all these guys who know how to run a promotion well, running WWE. I'm just saying it, folks. I'm just saying the truth here.
But I definitely want to talk about the the All Out pay-per-view, and also apparently that they added a match onto their pre-show that I want to talk about.
Yes, we'll get into that in a second. Yeah. But Carl, before we get into the pay-per-views themselves, you want to get into that story you were mentioning to us prior?
Yes,
sure.
I figure let's do this before we get into the pay-per-view stuff, because that's gonna be a lot. And I'll let you run the whole story.
Hold on. I'm going to ask a watcher of ours. Billy, if you're still watching, can you please comment that you're still watching? Because I know this is going to be a tough one for a lot of females, and I want your take on this. So if you could, please. So I will start this, and if she's watching, she'll comment. But, okay. She is here.
Okay.
Okay. So, last weekend, I believe it was, there was an independent wrestling show at an American Legion. And one of their female talents was sexually assaulted by a member of the American Legion. When the promotion, who has been running in that building for a few years, approached them about this, the American Legion kicked them out. And no charges were brought up against said member of the American Legion. I'm sorry. This is 2022. If you do anything to a female, your ass should be locked up. I don't care if it's a minor, an adult. You do anything illegal to a female, your ass should be locked up. And if anybody's got a problem with that, you know where to find me.
Can I just add?
Go ahead, John.
This may get a little controversial, what I'm about to say, but honestly,
This is why. Oh. Miss Billy brings up a good point. That's the problem with shows in a place like that. They'll claim it's private property when it's in a club. And he also agrees with me. Absolutely not acceptable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When you go to a show, and obviously, yes, I'm still new into this whole independent wrestling world, so to speak. I know, I've been to a few shows out here on Long Island. I've been to a few by Carl already. We were at the one this past weekend up in Albany. To me, you have no right to do anything. I'm not even saying to female, to any of the fans there who paid
not even
money.
A fan, any of the talent.
Oh yeah, exactly. No, that anybody, either who's working that event or who's coming in as a fan, you have no right to do anything of what this person did to this female talent that Carl that you were talking about. Because to me, it's disgusting. It's sickening to me. And it's simply something that has to come to an end. Because
now, John, I'm going to say this, okay? Mm-hmm. Most people don't know this, but I come from a military family. And military is very huge in my heart and in my mind. But what this gentleman did, you ain't no veteran. You're lower than the fucking scum of the earth. And for the police department, the American Legion itself, and for the state not to step in, get your heads out of your fucking asses and do something proper about this.
The other part also that I think we have to add to this is it's disgusting. And the fact that nobody did anything about this.
That's even more sickening.
Yeah, that to me gives me a pit in my stomach. That it's like when, and Carl, I know you and I have had this discussion in the past of certain things being a pandemic, so to speak, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
The situation that we're talking about right now is bigger because female, I don't care if it's talent or fans, should not have to worry that if they're going to a show, let's say out here at or we're at, doesn't matter where, they shouldn't have to worry that somebody who they don't know is going to try to take advantage of them.
The worst part is, John, the psychological problem this shit just left on the mind of this talent is sickening.
Oh, it's absolutely. I totally agree. And I think
I wouldn't be surprised if this talent decides they don't want to be a wrestler anymore because of this shit.
And it's sickening because, again, this goes back to the whole thing where certain people, and I mean, I'm going to repeat it again. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, especially females, okay? And Carl, you and I had the luxury of meeting a lot of females this past weekend in Albany.
Yep. That's why I asked Billy to make sure she was still here.
Oh yeah. And Billy, you can comment as well. Correct me if I'm wrong here. No female should be worried that something's going to happen to them at a show. You should be able to go to a wrestling show, go to a concert, whatever, and have fun like everybody else. You shouldn't have to worry that, oh God, the guy who's running this place may do something to me. Because this shit. Did I say something?
She says, sadly, even in 2022, some people will say it's part of the business. It's the same bullshit at Comic-Cons. Some people don't care about consent. Women are just objects to those assholes, and she is 1,000% correct.
Completely agree with that.
I second that big time.
And unfortunately,
there are assholes that are out there that think women are properties.
Mm-hmm. And you guys know I don't show anger on this, but to the people, and if anybody has offense to what I say, I don't care.
And at this point, I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about what I'm saying about this shit because it's pissing me the fuck off.
All I'm going to say is this. Hold on. I want to see something here. Hold on. You're going to see.
Because, John, I'm going to pull the curtain back a little bit even further. I was a member of the American Legion as a Sons of the American Legion here in my town. And I will tell you right now, this shit makes me pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
I also belong to an organization called the Elks, which is a national organization. This shit would never stand.
And I'm going to say this right now. If I get wind of any of either female talents or females that I know that this happens to, I will find you. And there'll be no remnants of you. And that's not a threat. That's a promise.
John, I'm the black sheep of the family, so you'll get what's left after I'm done.
Okay.
Can I add on something as well? As someone who's involved in this business as well, there are some people out there who do think that, it's all, nature of the business. Or, as Carl said it, for those people who have the mentality. Sorry, Carl, read this out loud first.
Absolutely, John. I shouldn't have to worry about being followed to a parking lot after a show or being harassed or groped because I wear a skirt. Enough is enough. Billy, I knew what you meant. That's why I said it.
Mm-hmm. Now it's my say.
Go right ahead. Floor is yours.
Not only in wrestling, but in human nature itself. For any people out there, mostly men out there who do think that, it's okay for this shit, they shouldn't have to be worried about it. Maybe you should take a good hard fucking look at yourself in the mirror and say, wow, am I really one of those creeps that, Like, am I that person that saying is the problem? Really take a good hard look at your life and see where you are in life. Because again, if you're doing the same shit that like the bartender of the American Legion or some psycho, stalking a woman in the parking lot, if you think that is okay, then you need to get checked into a fucking mental institute to get yourself checked out and possibly chemically castrated to get your mind set straight.
Oh yes, castration. I'm in favor for that.
And as everybody knows me, I'm not an asshole. I'm the nicest guy out there. When it comes to shit like this pisses me the fuck off because it's absolutely disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting, and I'm very grateful to this day. My mother, God rest her soul, taught me how to treat women correctly and properly in this lifetime. That way she wouldn't see her son end up like one of these sick fucks out there.
I'll put it this way. I'm 43 years old, okay? I can tell right here the four of us were taught the right way.
You're damn right.
And I'm going to say this. Billy Trent says, when I say I am referring to women in general. You guys know I can protect myself. Amazon women. And she also thanks us for being the good guys.
And it's not
that we're the good guys. We are sick and tired of this shit happening more often than it should. It shouldn't even be happening at all.
Mm-hmm.
No.
What they need to do is round up all these fucking losers, put them in a cell, and castrate them one by one with a dull fucking knife.
I'll go a step further. How about instead of not even castrating them, how about if something happens, you don't just push it under the rug because it doesn't look good for you, okay? If you guys have been watching the show, you guys have known that we've dealt with a lot of shit on the show from day one, okay? And if you know that there was a video put out, and Carl, you know where I'm going to go with this, but I'm trying to make a point here, okay? There was a video put out by an ex-co-host of ours who made some accusations against some of the people on the show. And what did we do about it? We handled it like adults. We looked into everything, and everything was figured out. What these companies have to do is they have to stop allowing this shit to happen.
Hold on, John. Hold on a second. The promotion is begging for something to be done. The promotion is begging for the authorities to do their fucking job.
Carl, and I'm saying this to you specifically because you remember this back in the day. In a previous show that you and I did, I became known for throwing stuff. If you remember back on a previous show.
I know, John.
Well, it just so happens I have an empty seltzer bottle right in my hand.
I got a garbage can full of bottles.
I'm trying to think the best way I can do this. Remember, I'm dealing with thousands of dollars worth of stuff. Okay, scroll over this way. Guys, I normally don't do what I just did. Because also I know some people get pissed off if I don't clean it up, which I will clean it up. But when shit like this happens, and I'm going to say this right now, from this day forward, there has to be action taking place. And if we have to be the ones to get the ball rolling, I don't give a flying fuck. Because point blank and simple, like I said before, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when the first day new tongue. Mm-hmm. Women should not be afraid to walk out of their house and go to a wrestling show, go to a concert, go to a movie.
Hell, even go to a grocery store.
Yes.
Any place in general.
I personally know female wrestlers who have had to hire bodyguards because of crap like this. The wrestling community needs to keep an eye out and call out these assholes. Respect one another.
Well, Billy, that's what we're going to start doing on this show. When we get wind of shit like this happening, we're going to start calling these people out because of the fact that we're on this platform. Maybe our word can start getting the ball rolling. And I'm not even looking just at the wrestling community. I'm looking at females as a whole. Because, and there's a few females out there who I look at as a sister. Okay?
Yep.
And I have said this to them before. I would do anything to protect them. And you guys know damn well that I'm not somebody who shows aggression. You guys know that for a fact.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan, you've known me long enough. Have you ever seen me aggressive?
What, like pissed off or whatnot?
Like this?
No.
Have you ever seen me like this?
No.
I don't like this guy.
And Carl, you've known me for a long time. Have you ever seen me pissed off like this?
Nope. You and I are the most laid back people in the world.
I
know you piss off.
I do have breaking points for me personally. It's two things: shit like this, and mentioning my family.
Oh yeah, that's
a whole nother story. That's a whole nother story. But getting back to this shit again, as I stated earlier, if it's like a broken record, but I want to make sure that my point gets sent out as well. You think that this shit is okay? Then you need to get yourselves fucking checked. Yep. Especially those assholes at that American Legion. I'm sorry, Carl, if you know.
I'm pissed off. Trust me.
Those assholes those assholes at that American Legion who absolutely did fucking nothing to what? You know, protect their brother. What? Protect their brother for being a fucking creep, being publicly outed for being a creep. And I think I know why they did that. Money.
Yeah, because they don't want
by the fucking dollar signs.
Because Ryan,
here's the problem. That promotion was what kept that building open.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
I'll say this much. If I'm in that area and I have an event coming up, I would stay clear of that American Legion permanently, because they may turn around and say, "Oh, we've spoken to this person and they won't do it again." Fucking shit. I'm sorry. To me,
what they need to be done is arrested and thrown in jail.
Mm-hmm.
Not only the bartender, but also members of the American Legion who helped abet that situation.
Because they took a vote.
Really?
And they voted nothing to do with that individual, but throw out the promotion.
Mm-hmm.
So they're stupider than I thought.
It's Texas. What do you think?
But they don't realize something. Anybody can go on the internet right now and type in American Legion and you will get the national headquarters. Gee, maybe the national headquarters should be told of what is going on in their building, involving their name.
Yeah. And, oh boy, this is really like, I can feel now. You ever get that feeling when like you're starting to get enraged and you feel the blood pressure starting to go up a little bit, and you feel like you want to say something, but you're afraid it's going to come out the wrong way. But
John, just say it.
Okay. The argument that I've heard for years from people is, in this talking about this whole situation, is that sometimes the woman asks for it. I'm sorry.
Bullshit, motherfuckers.
I'm sorry. Now, obviously, you know, I am who I am, but most people aren't going to walk into a place and find some guy who's part of the American Legion. Go, oh, sir, can you have your way with me? Like, seriously. And
here, I'm going to pull something out, and it's not even this, okay?
Mhm.
Billy, I'm sorry for what I'm about to say, but you go to strip clubs, you have the girls dancing, okay? Yes, that's their job. But you have guys trying to take advantage of them. What the fuck is wrong with you people?
yeah. But before we start getting enraged and before we have,
Hold on. I feel bad. Costa, do you have anything to add on to this?
Well, first of all, I'm gonna admit that I wasn't aware of this whole story that's going on, right? So, of course, I don't condone any type of violence against women in any kind of way, right? So, I hope that eventually people get their, as you said, get their head out of their asses, and something gets done about this situation, because anytime it involves issues like this, I get quiet, actually, because it's not that I don't know what to say, of course, but it's an emotional thing to think about and to talk about. So I kind of get emotional myself when these topics come up, and hopefully, like I said, hopefully it all gets figured out and the right people get what they rightfully deserve, right? So
I think the best way we can wrap this whole thing up, and I'm not wrapping this up because I don't want to talk about this, is if you're watching this and you can hear any of our voices, call your local politician. Tell them that you want laws being passed for this. I feel like I said something that. Did I say something wrong, or
no? You cut out. You cut out a little bit. Yeah.
No.
No, you're good. You're good.
This is what's going to bother me, okay? I just pulled up the American Legion Wikipedia. Their national president is from fucking Texas.
oh,
Wow.
Well, yeah. I'm gonna say something, but that probably explain.
yeah, that makes. But again, that may explain it, but it doesn't. It shouldn't condone it.
I know.
And people, and believe me, there was a time where I would sit here and go, I don't want to touch this. This is not for us. But folks, one thing with us, especially if you're a new watcher of ours, is we get into topics like this. We get into topics that nobody's going to want to touch. We get into those topics, as long as they're presented in the proper way. I have to stress that. They have to be presented in a proper way. We will talk about it.
Yeah.
We will talk about it. And I'll just put it at that. And to me, the fact that this is still going on now is, and I said this before, is disgusting. It's despicable, and an end has to be put to it now. Or, like I said before, if I get wind of this between me and Carl and Ryan and Costa, probably you won't be able to walk anymore. And that's not a threat. That's a promise.
Not only that, but besides the four of us, Carl and myself have a lot of connections.
Yep.
And that I know for sure. I can confirm that 100%.
Oh yeah. But let's get on to
some wrestling, guys. Wrestling.
Decompress and talk about. Let's talk about what's going to be happening this weekend.
Yeah.
Wait, the wrestling this weekend? I wasn't made aware of that.
Yeah.
I think there's like 1, 2, maybe 3 shows happening,
Oh, they're independent shows. Gotcha.
No,
Jeez.
what?
Maddie and Jeff.
They're not independent shows, buddy.
You know, I'm just trying
Definitely
to bust chops here, right?
Yeah, I know. And we're busting your balls.
Yes.
Yes, folks. For the first time, and I can't remember when this ever happened last, we have a WWE. We have 2 WWE events and an AEW event all in the same weekend.
In 2 days.
Yeah.
In 2
We
days.
have Clash at the Castle happening Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern, which we're going to get into in a bit. We have Worlds Collide that's happening, I think, Sunday afternoon.
Yes.
And then we have All Out happening Sunday night.
And when we get to All Out, I do want to add on. I do want to talk about something that was just added about an hour ago.
I think when we get to All Out, a lot of us will be all tired.
Yeah.
We'll be all worn out. Anyway.
Hey, but let me throw it around the room. Of the 3 pay-per-views we have coming up, before we get into each one and start giving our predictions, which one are you guys looking forward to the most? Ryan, I'll throw it to you first.
Oh, it's kind of tough because I don't consider NXT, NXT, even though it's a big show, but I feel like NXT World Collide is like the end of NXT UK if you think about it. Because folks, if you didn't know, NXT UK. Yes, Carl. Oh, I think I know.
What happened?
Wade Barrett has re-signed with WWE and will be part of NXT.
As a wrestler?
You mean as a wrestler
Or commentator?
or commentator?
Commentator / backstage.
Oh yeah. That
And I remember in that interview, he said he would not rule out coming back into the ring.
yeah.
I don't think he can actually. If you think
No,
about
he
it.
can. He can.
He's doing a smart choice and not doing it. But anyway,
No, because I have a prediction for one match at Worlds Collide that I think we may see him appear in.
well, when we get to that, we'll talk about it.
Yes.
But again, folks, they announced that NXT UK is going to be gone, and by early next year, it's going to be NXT Europe.
Yep.
Correct.
That's why we noticed a slew of NXT UK talent have either gone to Florida to NXT or have gotten released.
Yeah.
A matter of weeks. And some of those names that have been released, I was very surprised about.
Yes. But
So, it's the tie between Clash of the Castle and All Out because I kind of want to see how they play off each other.
Yeah. I'm excited for sorry, go ahead.
No, you're next. I'm done. You're next.
Okay, so I'm really excited, honestly, for Clash at the Castle because of the fact that Triple H is in charge of it, but also I think they're gonna bring back Drew McIntyre's old theme there.
Please.
That will be amazing to witness.
I want him riding to the ring on a dragon.
Yeah. So
I want to see him going down with the sword in his hand, dressed like Braveheart, while the dragon is spewing fire from its mouth. I'm like, come on, you can't get better than that. You can never take our freedom. I am Pete, and this is my dragon. Pete's dragon. Let's go.
and I'm putting this prediction out here. Clash at the Castle will be the best pay-per-view of the year. By
For
far.
WWE at least, yeah.
Yeah.
Because also, one key thing we've been forgetting to mention, this is the first time that a pay-per-view has been featured in the UK in over 30 years.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying that it's going to be the best
And the
one.
fact that they added more seats when tickets went on sale.
Go ahead, Carl.
Yes.
Miss Zoe Starks, who just came back from ACL repair, just won her match.
What?
On NXT.
Oh,
Okay.
She's moving faster than she ever did.
No, she is. That's what rehab does.
Yes, it does.
Carl, what about you? What of the 3 pay-per-views this weekend, which one are you looking forward to the most?
I'm hearing background. Yo, somebody turned down their. I'm hearing background. Sorry, guys.
Be honest with you, John. Maybe All Out.
All up.
That's about it.
No, and this was one of those questions that was very tough to answer because you have 3 pay-per-views in a weekend, and all 3 of them have the potential to be the pay-per-view of the weekend.
Ryan, the match you just said was announced. Does it have the initials EK in it?
What the women's tag title?
No.
Oh,
I didn't mention a match.
Oh, for All Out?
Yes.
Okay, I just seen one here. I don't know if it was announced already.
Oh, the one that you said. Yep, it's announced. You know what? Fuck it. He brought it. I'm gonna say it. Tony Khan, about an hour and a half ago, released that for the first time since 2018, they're doing 0 Hour in Chicago. You know, the 0 Hour, the pre-show. And one of the matches that was just announced for 0 Hour in Chicago, you have Eddie Kingston taking on the Stone Pitbull, Tomohiro Ishii.
oh, wow.
I'm sorry. That should not be on the pay-per-view. That should be on the big show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That should be on the main card.
yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
So how about this? How about we quickly go through the cards on all 3 of them?
Yeah.
And, give our prediction because I have the card in front of me.
Bring up the cards. Yeah.
So I have them.
To be honest with you, gentlemen, I'm going to step away for a minute.
All right. Okay.
You guys go ahead. I'm stepping away for a minute.
All right.
Okay. No worries, man. So this is what we're gonna do because obviously we're not doing the sports break, segment because of this. So I'm taking my duties as co-host, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring up the cards for all 3 events.
Yeah.
And then we give our predictions.
Okay.
With that.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
So first off, so far, Clash of the Castle in Cardiff, Wales. Not in Scotland. Because they keep saying, oh yeah, Drew McIntyre's hometown. He's in Scotland, you idiots. So we have the tag team match between Ray and Edge versus Judgment Day. 6-woman tag match. Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky versus Alexa Bliss, Asuka, and Bianca Belair. Seth Rollins versus Riddle.
Yeah.
Liv Morgan versus Shayna Baszler for the SmackDown Women's title. Junta, a.k.a. Walter, taking on Sheamus for the Intercontinental title. And Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre for the Unification whole shenanigan bullshit title, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. So that's what they announced so far.
Okay. So, John, you want to start or not?
Yeah. Also, to anybody who's watching, you can leave your predictions as well.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear your predictions as well.
Yep.
Okay. I'll tell you this right now, and this one may not rub people the wrong way. I think you're going to see a few title changes happen.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I really think you do. Think you're going to see Roman drop the belt?
Really?
Yes. And I say this for this reason specifically. USA Network has said a slew of times now that they want a champion. They want a champion. They're pissed off that SmackDown has had the champion since Mania. I think Drew takes the belt. Now, Ryan, did you say it's for both belts or just?
It says that it's for both belts.
I could have sworn it was just for one.
No, they might change it though. If / when Drew wins the title.
Yes. So here's why I think that's going to happen. To me, my match of the night is going to be Riddle and Seth. Just based off the side-by-side interview we saw Monday.
Yeah.
Gunther and Sheamus.
That's going to get the biggest pop of the night.
But that's going to be a good one, though.
Yeah.
You want to talk about a stiff match? That's going to be a stiff one right there.
Talk about a battle of beefiness.
And I'm surprised nobody joked about how I just phrased that.
I know. Because he's not in the room, that's why.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I think Liv also drops the belt.
Who? Sorry?
Liv.
Oh, really?
I think so too.
And here's why I say that. I don't say that to be mean because I know she's from Elmwood Park, and I think we happen to be somebody from Elmwood Park.
Yeah.
I just feel like putting the belt on her is something that should have happened years ago.
Yeah.
And I think now, I don't think they're going to keep her with the belt. And I think Shayna Baszler, not Marina Shafir, you could, okay, I'll tell you this one. Give Shayna the title, let her get a run with it to Rumble, then hear me out on this. Ronda wins the Rumble.
And it'll be Shayna and Ronda
for the title at Mania next year.
That I would like to see, because if you saw when Ronda was being escorted out by Rent-A-Cop security on SmackDown, you saw the two of them getting face to face. So I think they might be building something up, and actually I would be okay with that. I would be okay with that.
Yeah.
And also, could we potentially see a return? Because you know how Triple H has been pulling out returns out of his ass like a piss.
Yeah.
Could we see possibly some sort of fiend maybe show up?
Well, that's kind of leading to my point. There's been rumblings of a certain fiend and a certain monster returning.
Really?
And who was the guy who defeated both a certain fiend and a certain monster?
Seth Rollins.
No.
Who? Who are you talking about?
Roman.
Oh, right. Sorry. Yeah, Roman.
They come back and exact revenge on Roman.
One of those, I don't think the monster would be back, honestly.
And here's the other part. We talk about big pops, and we said before that Sheamus and Gunther, or as I call him, Walter, would get the biggest pop. I'm sorry, I think we'll have one other moment that will get a bigger pop.
True.
Because we didn't get that moment with him winning the title initially at 36 because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Drew.
I think you have Drew win. You finally have those fans get that moment. He wins the title in his home area.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Thank you. I had to calm down.
Okay.
Sorry, I was a little still agitated about what we're talking about.
Oh, no. You're good.
It's all good.
You're good.
And also, by the way, folks, Clash of the Castle will be on 1 o'clock Eastern time?
Yeah, 1 p.m. in the afternoon. Yep. Which is a perfect time. For me, it's a better time, yeah.
For us.
I love that shit.
For us, it's awesome.
Yeah, I love that shit.
So now we have the following day in the afternoon.
Well, what about Carl and Costa?
All right. Let us, Ryan, this is a better way to do it. Why don't you go match? I'm going to say winner or loser, right? So for me, why don't you go match by match, and I'll just tell you my opinion quickly.
Okay, so you want me to repeat the matches again?
Yeah.
Okay, I like that idea. I like that. So we'll do that for the other two.
Yeah.
Okay. Edge and Rey Mysterio with Dominic versus Judgment Day, Priest and Balor with Secret Single Time Lover Rhea Ripley.
That's interesting, and you guys are gonna call me biased, but I'm gonna go with Edge and Rey Mysterio. But again, like we discussed, there might be a heel turn in the works, so keep an eye on that. But I'm going with Edge and Rey Mysterio.
Costa, I'm going to say this. I'm actually in agreement with you.
All right, thanks.
As much as I know Priest,
Yeah.
No.
Okay, can I be the one to be on the other side of the spectrum on this one?
I think
You're always on the other side of the. Never mind. Okay. Yes, you can.
I see what you guys are saying about. I'm ignoring what Costa said. I agree. I see what you guys are saying about Ray and Edge winning, but if Balor and Priest are this group that they want to start pushing big time on Raw, how much bigger would it be than defeating not one but two legends in the ring at the same time?
No.
The only way if that's possible, if Dominic screws his father.
Yeah.
No.
Or Edge.
Here's how they do it. Let them win. Okay? Let Judgment Day keep coming out. Give it 3 weeks.
Okay.
That third week, the 6 of them are in the ring. Okay? Cutting their promos. All of a sudden, Dominic looks at his father and just kicks him square in the head.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Kind of like when Seth broke up the Shield.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Dominic looks at his father and turns and says, I don't need you anymore. I'm tired of being in your shadow.
Eddie Guerrero was my father anyways. Watch him say that. Sorry. Yeah.
No, that would
Him
be great.
saying that, who else said that to their father?
Charlotte.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
He joins them.
Okay.
He joins the Judgment. Yeah, he joins the Judgment Day. Yeah.
Okay, so getting back to the match card right now.
Yeah.
The 6-woman
Sorry,
tag.
that's how I was thinking it.
No. I love it. 6-woman tag. Bliss, Asuka, Belair versus Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky.
Oh man.
Dakota's group.
I think so.
I'm in agreement.
Dakota's group, but then Sasha Banks and Naomi come out and confront them.
No.
Why? What do you think? Actually, wait. You're right. You're right about. Hold on.
Our good friend Mac Davis says, great to see you guys this past weekend. Mac, it was a blast seeing you again.
Yes.
Sorry, what did you say? What do you think is gonna happen, Ryan? What were you saying?
I think Bayley and her crew are gonna win, and Bayley might be the next competitor for Bianca. Maybe even be the one to dethrone her.
Really?
Yeah, I could see that. I could very easily see that.
Yeah, that might happen as well. Yeah.
Especially the fact they were the first sort of surprise of the Hunter regime with all them coming together.
Yeah.
I think they'll be the ones to start seeing a little bit more of a push. Because I think the big thing that Hunter's going to really try to focus in on, especially the fact that we do have the women's tag belts still around, is he's going to really try to focus in on trying to build up legitimate women tag teams. And I think Dakota and Io are going to be one. Obviously, Raquel and Aaliyah are one. And I think we'll start seeing more in the coming months.
Oh, by the way, shout out to Aaliyah and Raquel Gonzalez for winning the tag team titles on Monday Night Raw.
Yes.
That was unexpected because I actually thought, and this is not me going against my Toronto lady here, but I actually thought Dakota Kai and Io Sky was.
I thought so too.
Yeah.
Anyway, SmackDown Women's title.
Hold on.
Yeah.
So, so you said Sasha and Bailey, Naomi come back.
Yeah.
Hold them off to Survivor Series
Really?
In Sasha Banks' hometown.
of Boston.
Yeah. Boston? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah.
Okay.
Or you could even do it at Extreme Rules in Philly,
Nah, maybe.
Maybe.
but better off holding off to Boston.
Survivor Series.
Boston, yeah.
Watch the pop those two get.
Yeah.
Okay. Liv Morgan and Shayna Baszler, SmackDown Women's title.
Shayna Baszler.
I'm picking Shayna too.
So am I. And I love Liv. I love her.
I love Liv. No, don't get me wrong. We love Liv here. We love Liv here for real. But I think it's gonna be Shayna Baszler.
Yes.
I'm in agreement as well.
Gunther and Sheamus for the IC title.
Oh boy, that's
Sheamus.
gonna be a banger. That's gonna be a banger
Sheamus.
for real.
You think Sheamus might get the pop? Okay, how about this match that's been brewing for the last, I would say, couple months now? Rollins and Riddle.
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 This one's gonna be like the first of many for them. I'm calling it right now.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre. I think we know the answer for this one.
McIntyre.
I was saying Roman Reigns for the longest time, but now I'm gonna switch my pick to Drew.
Yeah, I'm in agreement as well. I think Drew wins, and I think that's gonna be the biggest pop of the entire night.
I think so too. Now, let's switch gears into Sunday afternoon for Worlds Collide. There's only two matches that I want to talk about because the rest of the card, I can care less right now. Sorry, NXT, but these two matches, in my opinion, are important.
All right.
Okay.
It's two title unification matches.
Okay.
The first one, triple threat women's match between Blair Davenport, the NXT Women's Champion Mandy Rose, and the NXT UK Women's Champion Meiko Satomura.
Oh boy.
Mind you, Mandy Rose is at least 300 days as champion.
Yeah.
Mandy Rose.
I think that continues. I think her reign continues. I'm choosing Mandy Rose.
So you're seeing Mandy Rose as dual champion.
Yeah.
Carl?
Be honest with you, I haven't followed NXT, so I wouldn't know.
Fair enough. Okay.
It's all right. It's all right.
The other unification match, and I'm sorry if I'm rushing through this. I know it's what time it is, and
It's
I
okay.
don't want the show going another 4 hours.
No worries. Go ahead.
Title versus title for title. Braun Breaker. Yes. Breaking news.
Comment.
Comment. What do you got?
Oh, there it is.
Yes. Title versus title. You have the current NXT champion, Braun Breaker, taking on NXT UK champion, two-time champion, by the way, Tyler Bate.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you guys see walking out with both belts?
Breaker.
That's tough one. That's a tough one because also Breaker can be called up. So actually, you know what? I'll just say Breaker. Yeah, I'll go with Breaker. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with Breaker.
Carl?
Reason I'm going to say Breaker, and there's a reason why.
Why?
If you're going to start a new NXT Europe, you don't want the UK title. You want to come out with your own title for that. You want to start with a brand new title.
Yeah.
So it's easier to drop it to Braun Breaker, merge the two into one, and then start fresh.
Holy shit.
What?
No, I'm looking at the card for All Out, which is the review that night.
What were the other, I know we're not going, but what were the other? So, like at least one or two of the other matches.
I don't know, honestly. Those are the two matches I saw online. Those are the two matches I saw online. The rest of it, you have to watch at NXT.
Well, hold on. Are they doing the Worlds Collide in
Orlando?
Oh, they're doing Orlando. Okay.
Yep.
I have a crazy idea for one of them. Carl.
So you mentioned 1 and 2. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You forgot you have your tag team championship match. Katana Chase and Kaden Carter versus Nikki Ash and Doudrop.
Yeah.
And a 2 out of 3 match. Oxum versus Nathan Frazier.
What, 2 out of 3 falls or 2 out of 3?
2 out of 3 falls.
Really?
Okay.
Oh.
4 matches for the entire card.
So far,
Yeah.
As it says at the bottom, card subject to change.
I will say this much though. This is what I was saying before. I have a possible theory here.
Okay.
You figure you're gonna have Carmelo Hayes on that card. Carmelo Hayes is currently your NXT North American champion.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Obviously, Carl mentioned it before. Wade Barrett did resign with the company. He said he wouldn't mind doing it in-ring return if the opportunity would work itself out.
Mm-hmm.
Barrett versus Carmelo.
That would be a nice surprise. Unless somehow Triple H pulls a surprise out of his ass again.
Yeah.
and bring in someone that hasn't been in NXT in a long time. You never know.
Mason Ryan. Yes, there we go. That's the answer. Mason Ryan.
Mason Ryan. Yep.
No way, man.
Carmelo Hayes doing an open challenge.
Yeah.
And who would you have answer said challenge?
Someone that will be making their NXT debut.
Who?
I don't know who. I'm just taking a guess.
Oh.
It'll be someone that no one would expect that would be at NXT.
I just thought of one.
Hmm.
Didn't they sign that guy, Gable Stevenson?
He's on Raw though.
Why
Yeah,
not
he got drafted.
No,
He got drafted.
he got drafted. However, there is one match that could possibly be happening unless they bump to the NXT next week. How about Cameron Grimes versus Joe Gacy?
Yeah. That's good.
What happened? But let's get on to All Out now because
Good fucking Lord Almighty!
Carl's looking at something that. All right, while Carl's doing that, let's go ahead with.
All right, so yes, Carl.
No,
Yes,
I'm looking at it for AEW.
Oh,
Okay, so the third and final pay-per-view of this insanely crazy weekend of wrestling. We have AEW's All Out taking place right after Worlds Collide.
Yep.
From Chicago, Illinois. Don't know why Chicago. Could be anywhere else, but no, it has to be Chicago. Anyway. As stated earlier, they announced the not pre-show. It's 0 hour. It's the free hour of the pay-per-view. I'm trying not to die here. Eddie Kingston versus Tomohiro Ishii.
yep. Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston.
I'm gonna go Ishii on this one.
Oh, an Ishii.
The reason I say that quickly is with everything that happened with Kingston getting
Yeah, he got suspended, didn't he?
literally punching Sammy Guevara. Yeah, I don't know how much 2K is really going to want to push him right now, but moving on.
So I took my pick then. Because I
Well,
remember
this is actually a rematch from New Japan.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Ishii too.
Although Kingston had every fucking right to beat the shit out of Sammy, I'm being straightforward.
Oh, yeah.
Sammy's a little bitch.
Anyway, so we have
And we know who wears the pants in that family.
Tony Khan. I'll show myself to the door.
I'm out.
So
Go to timeout.
we have so far 9 matches scheduled for All Out.
Okay.
We have the finals of the World Trios title tournament.
Yep.
Correct.
Which we don't know who's going to win that, so I'll skip that. Also, they're doing the return of the casino ladder match.
Now, that's interesting. For one particular reason. Usually, the last time they did a ladder match like this, they had the contestants already picked out.
Yeah.
We all know who it was. Wednesday's the last day. Wednesday and Friday are the last days before the pay-per-view. Why are they waiting until the last minute?
Because they're too busy pushing these other matches. I'm going to be saying.
Hold on a second.
Huh.
You're going to mention a match soon, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But what if he's a participant in the ladder match?
I highly doubt that.
I don't know.
I don't know about that one.
It's possible.
Although maybe a certain loudmouth individual who hasn't been on TV in months.
A return of MJF.
I feel like he's going to show up at All Out at some point. We just don't know how.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway,
He has
back to the action. We have in 6-man tag team action the team of the TNT champion Wardlow and basically the best tag team in the world right now. Come at me if you must. FTR. Taking on Jay Lethal and a surprise tag team that I actually never thought I would actually see in AEW. And it's someone that Sanjay Dutt said, it's someone that Sanjay and Jay know very well. And that is the team of Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, the Motor City Machine Guns.
wow.
I was blown away when I saw that. I'm like, are you kidding me?
This match is a tough one to pick because on one side you have your TNT champion and Wardlow. You basically have a somewhat reunion of the Pinnacle to an extent.
Yeah.
But on the other side, you got Jay Lethal, who I don't know what the hell they're doing with him.
I don't know.
I got a possible thing here.
Well, actually, if you really look at it on paper, it's the Pinnacle versus old school TNA.
Hold on.
Yep.
I got a theory here. Samoa Joe just wrapped up the taping of the new show he's been doing on Peacock.
Oh, okay.
Him and Lethal have been in this feud or rivalry, whatever you want to call it. Could we see Samoa Joe return Sunday night and cost Jay Lethal the match further in their feud?
I mean, maybe.
Maybe. Possible. That would be very interesting to see. I think it might happen.
All right, so next we have the AEW TBS title between the current champion Jade Cargill taking on Athena.
Athena wins.
Athena
finally dethroning Jade. I kind of agree on that.
Yeah.
Next one is a match that's kind of been 12 years in the making properly, if you think about it. And that is the American Dragon Bryan Danielson versus Lionheart Chris Jericho.
Danielson.
I'm going to throw two things into this. I agree with Costa. I think Danielson wins, and I think we see Garcia turn.
A turn, yeah. Who?
I'm seeing more of maybe JAS turning on Jericho.
Maybe. Yeah. I can see that.
And for those that are like little wrestling nerds like us, if you remember the old school NXT, you know, the ones that had the freaking game show style NXT,
Yeah.
this match main evented the very first episode
Yes,
of said show.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. I remember that vividly.
Okay, next is a matchup that actually, in my opinion, has a lot more heat than Rollins and Riddle, and that is Christian Cage and Jungle Boy.
Jungle Boy.
Jungle Boy has to win.
I'm gonna say this. Wait, Jungle Boy besides all the doubters, Jungle Boy has held his own in promos against Christian Cage. He's done a great job. I will say that much. But in terms of who I'm choosing, I'm gonna go with Jungle Boy.
Wow. Costa, you shocked me on that one.
Why, you thought I was gonna choose Christian?
Yeah,
Seriously, I thought you were going to choose Christian.
Yeah, I want to see Jungle Boy win. Honestly,
This is the push he needs at this moment.
I'm in agreement. I think Jungle Boy has to win, and if I was booking this card and I was putting the match order together, I would have this be the co-main event.
I have a theory.
How about Mr. Peterson? Yes, go ahead, Mr. Peterson.
Jungle Boy wins, but by disqualification, because in 3 weeks after All Out, there is a bigger event that's happening in New York. Grand Slam Dynamite.
Yeah, Ash Stadium.
At Arthur Ashe Stadium.
Yep.
You do some sort of massive blow-off match in front of 20,000 people.
Yep.
And if they somehow can pull it off, you know, AEW's done a lot of, you know, firsts and whatnot. They had, you know, the coffin match and, you know, the shit. How about something that actually has not been shown in AEW? If they can somehow pull it off.
What?
Hell in a Cell.
Oh, wow. Yeah. At Arthur Ashe Stadium, yeah. I can see that.
In front of the chaotic New York crowd of 20,000 plus. There's no greater stage. There's no grander stage than that.
And as the Frank Sinatra song goes, if we make it in New York, we can make it anywhere.
Yeah. And that's definitely true.
You're thinking.
He's also looks like he's sweating too.
Hard.
No. Jungle Boy wins, goes to the match by disqualification. Okay, he wins the match by disqualification. Goes to Arthur Ashe Stadium against Christian Cage in a steel cage match.
Yep.
All of a sudden, you see a turn. Luchasaurus turns on Jungle Boy again.
Really?
For real.
For real this time. Yeah. I can see that definitely happening for sure.
Because when Jungle Boy is cutting his promos, where's Luchasaurus?
In the background.
Yeah.
But if you notice, he's always watching him.
Yep.
The great minds are always watching what goes on.
And speaking of people that were always in the background, we go into our next matchup as we see Powerhouse Hobbs takes on Ricky Starks. Great transition right there.
It's not intriguing. Doesn't intrigue me.
Starks.
I
don't know.
Seriously, that match, that's the bathroom match for me.
That should swap out Ishii and Kingston.
Yep.
It's definitely a lot of hard-hitting matches on All Out.
Oh, we got two more to talk about.
Oh dear. Okay.
So we have the AEW World Tag Team titles. As Swerve and Our Glory, Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland, the current champions, defend their titles against the one team that should have gotten a title shot a long fucking time ago. The Acclaimed, Anthony Bowens and Max Caster.
I'm sticking with Swerve. I don't care. I'll stick with Swerve.
I am too, but nice to finally see fucking Bowens and Caster get a shot.
I know, exactly. I'm sticking with Swerve.
You know how they always make the comment, either the title makes you or you make the title.
Yes.
Being realistic right now, does the Acclaim need the title?
No.
They don't.
They're over enough with the crowd that they don't need the belt.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, look at a team like Swerve and Keith Lee. Again, I'm not saying that they would fall into obscurity, but if they were to drop the belts and one would turn on the other, I think you keep the belts with them because I think that's what's going to keep them their momentum going. I don't think the Acclaim needs the belt because, like I said before, they're over enough with the crowd that a belt won't help them.
I agree.
Yeah, that's true.
But also, have you noticed that there was a certain faction that came back on WWE TV that's kind of missing a fourth member?
No, I don't think. No, man, I don't think so. I don't think that's happening.
No, I doubt that.
I don't think so.
Well, also you're forgetting.
Honestly speaking, and this is what I'm gonna say. So honestly speaking, I think that was the person that they tried to get in contact with, who said that he's okay where he is, where they are. They're okay where they are.
Right, you have to remember when Hit Row first started, it was Top Dollar, B-Fab, and whatever the other guy's name is. Swerve Strickland was never a part of the original plan for Hit Row. He just got added into it later on.
Money.
Yep.
And then, finally, we're at the end of this.
Everybody, yes.
Billy, you're right on that. Everybody loves the Acclaim.
We love the Acclaimed. Yeah.
And finally, on this 27-match marathon weekend of wrestling, we have for the AEW Interim Women's World Title, because the Women's World Champion is injured, although reports are saying that it could be something different, just saying.
It's legit.
Yeah, it's true.
She was on this person you're referring to was on a certain show on a certain satellite radio station and pretty much said, no, this is legit. She's injured. And yeah.
And I'm surprised that a certain co-host of this core four didn't somehow end up on that show marking out.
Go on with the match there, Ryan.
We have Tony Storm, Jamie Hayter, Hikaru Shida, and Dr. Britt Baker, DND.
Okay, I'll tell you right now my prediction.
Tony Storm.
Tony Storm wins. We get a feud between Baker and Hayter.
Yes.
Yep.
And then when Rosa returns, it's
Storm and Rosa.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Thunder Rosa returns. Who drops the belt?
No one. Tony Storm still wins.
No.
No?
Tony Storm wins the title.
Yeah.
Thunder turns heel.
Oh yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. For sure. I can see that happening.
Oh, yeah. And I know the other match wasn't announced yet, but if we get said other match between Moxley and a certain Punk, I think Punk turns heel.
Oh yeah, Punk will definitely turn heel.
I think he turns heel
Yeah.
if we get this match. If we get that match at All Out.
Well, it doesn't. I don't know if it's gonna happen at All Out, but he's definitely.
I mean,
No.
if it's gonna happen all out, then they better jump the fucking gun tomorrow.
I know. It's like a week away, so I don't know if
Not
it's happening.
even.
Not even. It's like 5 days away.
Yeah, sorry. 5 days away. Yeah. So I don't know how it's gonna happen, but they better start building it up soon.
Yes. But yes, guys, we have a lot of wrestling this week.
And by the way, Kenny Omega is winning that match too.
Oh yeah.
I just
Yes,
wanted
Carl?
to add that in there.
I want to bring something up.
Sure.
Over the weekend, we saw a commentator get chastised for a comment.
Nah. Oh yeah.
And this commentator got chastised for saying that he wishes AEW had signed him. Well, the promotion that this wrestler wrestles for caused a lot of problems. It falls in the line of the WWE contacting an AEW signed, contracted talent.
No. Well.
Hold on. WWE contacted a signed talent to AEW
Yes.
to come back.
Mm-hmm.
That said talent went to management for AEW, which in turn Tony Khan issued to WWE, leave my talent alone.
Yep.
JR made the comment about Will Ospreay.
That's not even remotely the same thing, by the way.
But what they are saying was that JR implemented that they were in contact with him to come to AEW, when in fact that was not the truth. He was doing his job as a commentator. That Impact, I'm sorry, New Japan, I think it was.
Yeah. New Japan. Yep.
New Japan redacted their statement and apologized.
Good.
You basically smeared the shit out of JR. That's not good.
No.
JR's been in the business long enough to know the right and wrong.
Mhm.
Yep. And by the way, as I said, it's not even remotely the same thing. Making a comment during a match about a wrestler is not the same thing as
He's doing his job.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but no, go ahead, Ryan.
No, I was saying he mentioned New Japan. I want to read something that actually involves New Japan, but it's a positive side of New Japan. But John, go ahead first.
No, I was going to say that's like us with what we do here, as somebody yelling at us for something we say.
Like
It's
we
like-
had in the, yeah, sorry.
I'm not saying that it's my point is this: certain things when it comes to when you're a broadcaster, and I consider all four of us broadcasters.
Of course.
JR's in
Well,
that
three
same
of us
boat.
and one.
Hmm?
Nothing.
I heard that one, Baldy. But you're supposed to say stuff that's your job.
Yeah.
If we were told before we started the show, oh, you guys can't talk about this, or this, you know what I would turn around and tell them?
Fuck you. I'm walking out the door.
Exactly. Because with me and you, I mean, if you watched the show earlier, you know we went to the whole thing about what happened. I don't even want to get back into it because it's going to enrage me.
Cough. Oops. Sorry.
When you're a broadcaster, I don't care if you're on YouTube, if you're on national TV, if you're on the radio, if you're on satellite radio, you're supposed to say something because that's your fucking job.
Exactly.
Go ahead, Ryan.
So, speaking of New Japan, it was announced earlier today that Wrestle Kingdom 17 is coming on Wednesday, January 4th, 2023. What matches do you want to see in the Tokyo Dome? And someone commented on that, and it actually might be almost very accurate.
Okay.
Matches so far. So four matches that this individual said might actually happen. For the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Titles, the current champion, the Dangerous Techers, taking on the Young Bucks.
Yep.
That's why I said this first, because I'm moving on to the next one. El Desperado versus Dragon Lee versus Hiromu Takahashi for the Junior Heavyweight title.
Okay.
One matchup that I think will definitely happen at Wrestle Kingdom because of what, kind of teased. How about Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay?
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the current IWGP Heavyweight Champion himself, Jay White, who normally was supposed to take on the winner of the G1 Climax, which was won by Okada. However, Okada is on paternity leave. He might not be back in time for Wrestle Kingdom. So who would take his place, as this person would say? How about someone who hasn't wrestled in over a year?
Who?
Tetsuya Naito.
Oh, yeah.
Sign me up.
Sign me up for that, yeah. For real.
With the exception of the tag title match, the other three sounds very reasonable.
Yeah.
When do you guys want to buy your tickets?
Go to Japan?
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I can hear the Japanese announcer introduce Jay White. The switch the breed, Jai White. Sounds like he's like trying to hold in a shit while he's announcing.
Oh, I think John's.
I can picture you doing that, Ryan.
I think John has lots of experience. I think John has lots of experience holding on in his shit. So. I mean, look at his face during the pictures at the wrestling hall.
Jesus Christ!
Ay, coño! Oh. Wow. Oh,
Folks, just letting you know, we broke Constant. He was nice and quiet.
yep.
No, Carl. It's not Dave Brocasso. You guys, no, it's not me. Hold on. You and him did that.
Yeah.
We represent the Lollipop Guild. I Hi ho.
We broke down.
Oh,
The
God.
whole camera is shaking.
Hold on. Carl, do you remember the app Reface?
Go ahead.
Oh, God. I'll have some work to do after the show tonight, but moving on. Okay, before we wrap up the show for tonight, we do have a little bit of a contest that we're going to start running
Yep.
Yes.
after Labor Day.
After Labor Day weekend. Yeah. After Labor Day
Stay
weekend.
tuned for Tuesday's show, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're just going to present what the contest is or what
Yeah.
it's for.
Yeah.
And since we kind of know the ring announcer for this said promotion,
That's me.
Costa, would you like to tell them that? Would you like to explain it? Yes.
No, I'll let Ryan do his job and explain.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Take out the angry Oompa Loompa.
Time
I
out
hear he's in the Midwest.
What?
with a bunch of filling his mouth with a bunch of cheese. Anyway.
Anyway, so as all of you, for those that were living under a rock last week, first of all, welcome back to reality. Second of all, we announced here that the Around the Rose podcast and the ATR network are now partners with a little company in Jersey, a brand new company called Colossal Championship Wrestling. They had their debut event this past last Saturday, the 20th. Phenomenal show. And on that night we crowned two new champions, the Blackjack champion, which is won by the big deal Craig Steele. And the brand new inaugural Colossal Championship Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, which was won by Madman Fulton.
Yep.
Now, right after he won the match, the owner, Mr. Robert Sade, comes out and says that you have quite a big challenge coming up on October 29th, which is our next event. And it officially is confirmed that on October 29th, Halloween weekend, in the Mecca, Richfield Park, New Jersey. I love it that you put it on you, Carl, even though I'm the one talking.
I'm the one that's got the cars, stupid.
I'm the announcer for the show, stupid.
Okay, I'm stupid. Can we move on?
We all know that, John. Anyway, so Madman Fulton will be putting this title on the line against that monster right there, PCO.
Yeah.
And here at the ATR Network, we're having a little contest. As we have, Carl, we have tickets that we are raffling off. I believe we have 4 front row seats, I believe.
4 front row seats. 2, 3,
7
7 second row seats.
Yeah.
And 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 general admission tickets.
4 general admissions. So in total, we have 15 tickets that we are raffling off. Again, it's Halloween weekend. Phenomenal way to start off your Halloween weekend. And for those out there who have kids, if the kids come to the show dressed up in costumes, which from what I see, it looks like John's getting a head start already. The kids will get a nice little candy goodie bag.
Yep.
And by kids, I don't mean John.
Why? We still got to give him his Happy Meal for the night.
Even though he looks like a human-sized Barney. But anyway.
Actually, more like BJ.
Moving on. Moving on. But yes, guys, we have tickets. You're not going to want to miss this event. This is going to be a monster versus a madman.
Yep.
How apropos being the Halloween weekend.
It's going to be a death match.
Not a literal like death match.
Not really a death match.
Not a monster. So now, gentlemen, or should I say gentleman and Carl, how do you want? Oh no, Carl. I mean John. Fuck. It's been a long day. I apologize, Carl. I apologize. I'm sorry, gentlemen, Carl Acosta and Mr. Looks like I raided a Spirit Halloween store already. John.
John, take the mask off. It's not Halloween yet.
Unfortunately, it's super glued by blood. So, how do you gentlemen think we should disperse said tickets to the fans? What do you think the fans should do?
Well, if you want tickets, you're going to have to subscribe.
To our YouTube channel, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you could also have to tag 3 of your friends. And we'll have this all out in a post on our social media.
So you're going to subscribe, tag 3 of your friends, and you got to notify us.
But there's a third part.
Okay, go ahead.
Give us a prediction of who you think will win this war between PCO and the Madman himself, Fulton.
No.
What?
Because what would you get out of the prediction idea?
Just adding a little bit to it.
I understand that, but
What's your idea, Mr. Peterson?
just so you know, subscribe to the YouTube channel or subscribe to our Facebook page. We need those likes, people.
Yep.
And tag 3 friends, and also if you we do a limit. We do a limit for the front row. We give out 2, max of 2.
Yeah, that's true.
We give out max of 2 tickets because we give all of them at one shot. It's not fair to everyone else.
Correct.
And also, how many? Go ahead. Sorry.
No,
sorry.
go ahead, Costa. What's up?
Okay, so here's another way we can do it. So, how many subscribers do we have on YouTube right now? Just what's the number at right now?
11, I think.
Okay,
11 or 12.
11 or 12, right? So, and this contest that we're doing is set to start next Tuesday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Next Tuesday, and run till that weekend.
Okay, so
14 subscribers.
Yeah, how many if we get to? Yeah, sorry, that's what I was gonna say. How about if we get to a certain number of subscribers, and then we decide to give the tickets out?
Okay, let me add on to that. Subscribe to the channel and or page. Tag 3 of your friends. Somehow show proof that you did it, and that you did it.
A screenshot, yeah.
A screenshot. Thank you. A screenshot that you're subscribed and you tagged 3 friends.
Yep.
And then ask, how many tickets you want, 1 or 2, and we will decide. The 4 of us will decide which tickets to give out, whether it's front row, second row, or third row. Again, it's a lottery style.
Exactly.
And folks, like I said, stay tuned for all of our social media. We'll have it all written out for you guys. But I think it's safe to say we should kind of wrap the show up for tonight. We talked about a lot tonight.
Yeah.
And it was definitely an interesting show. How about Carl? You can go first on final thoughts. What happened? What did I miss?
Nothing.
What?
Oh dear Lord.
Okay, am I missing something?
No.
Okay, can somebody clue me in on what the hell's going on?
Oh, we'll explain to you off air.
Yep.
Oh, Jiminy Cricket. By the way, for a quick sports update, the Mets lost 4-3 to the Dodgers.
Fuck.
Okay. I'll learn it. I'll find out after. Okay, fine.
All right. So we're gonna start with me.
Yes,
Yes.
well, with you there, Baldy.
Yeah.
So you can find me on Twitter right there at CarlRobATR, as you see. My final thought. Love everybody. And again, I'm going to touch on something that we spoke about already. If I hear any of my friends who are like family to me was sexually assaulted and nothing was done, so help me God, I don't find that person. Because they ain't gonna find you. I've always been told I'm the son of the devil. You'll find out why.
Sorry. I don't mean to laugh. Hold on. I don't mean to laugh, but that is a perfect wrestling promo-esque promo right there. I don't mean to make light of the situation because it's not funny.
It's not a promo. It's real life.
Hey, they always say wrestling is good when his real life is brought into it.
Costa,
Yes.
I am the psycho.
Really?
Trust me.
All right. I believe you, but I believe you, boss. I believe
Moving on now to Costa.
Yeah. You guys can find me on Twitter at Costa Pagneris. I'm not gonna spell it out because I've done it so many times over the past 8 months, and I still haven't changed my name here. But you can find me on Twitter. Just a Greek guy with a long ass name. That's how you can find me,
I fucking am the Greeks.
right? Okay. As I said in the chat, there's no shaming anything about Greece or anything about Greek people, please. Anyway, so that is sort of my final thought. Now, to end this, I will say I'm excited for the wrestling events that are coming up this weekend, and I hope you all have fun watching it. I think, and it's not set in stone yet, but I think we're gonna do an event for at least one of the shows this weekend, right? Or two of the shows. But again, stay tuned to our socials, and you can find all that information out on our Facebook page and everywhere else we have social media. Also, just one last thing. I'm gonna do a kind of like a business 101 session in like 30 seconds. So what I've noticed over the past few weeks is people don't realize that unless somebody is paid or has a contract to work with you, you're not obligated to do whatever they say. So for the people that say that certain people don't show up to their job, first of all, I was not paid to show up anywhere at that job, and I was not. I don't have to do anything you tell me to do. So, for those that don't know, I have a physical disability called cerebral palsy, and if you don't see me on the network at any point, it probably has to do with handling my physical disability. Okay? I'm not avoiding the show. I was never avoiding the show at any point. I was just handling something to do with my disability. Okay? So we thank you for your time in tuning in, and we hope to raise or get more fans, and we thank you for tuning in. So thank you.
Let's go over now to Ryan.
Damn, I gotta follow that.
Yeah,
All right.
I heard Carl choking in the background, so I don't know if everything's okay, but yeah.
All right, so you can find me on Twitter right there below at Ryan_MC. Don't worry, my name is not 26 letters, the whole 26 letters of the alphabet like Costas.
Yeah.
Definitely don't hate the Greeks because they have awesome food. Love their shit. And also you can find me. I'll give you a little glimpse of my upcoming schedule right now. Where to find me in the ring doing what I do, which is announcing. Next Friday, I'm in Rahway, New Jersey with WrestlePro featuring Kurt Angle. The following week, on the 17th, I'm back at Creator Pro here in Melville, New York, on Long Island, not in Long Island like some people would say, featuring the Iron Savages, a.k.a. Bear Country, taking on the Wolves. We got Max Caster, Ace Austin, and some guy named Bully Ray. Sounds familiar to anybody out there? Also, September 23rd, Ace Pro Wrestling. One of my homes is back in action after 6 months in Teaneck, New Jersey. Definitely go check that out. And then on the 25th, Invictus Pro Wrestling presents their 2-year anniversary show with Darius Carter versus Ken Broadway. Just announced on Sunday, Milk Chocolate defending the Invictus Tag titles against Fight or Die, which is Dominic De Niro and Chris Barton. Also, we have Gabriel Sky taking on Speedball Mike Bailey. And I got a bunch of shit coming up in the pipeline. Oh, you have no idea what's coming. Actually, I'm not even allowed to say it yet because I want confirmation in a couple of weeks when I hear from the actual other promoter itself for something in October. So, again, you can find me on there. You can find me on Instagram at WrestlingMC. Or in John's case, you can find me at MySpace at, and my OnlyFans page for John.
Where he only shows his feet. Sorry.
You talking about me or John?
No, I'm talking about John.
Hey, listen, man's got to make money somehow. And my final thoughts on the whole thing, like Carl and Costa said, don't be a dick. Love everyone. And like I said earlier in the broadcast, for those that are just tuning in now, especially going back to that certain topic, if you think that what redacted topic is totally okay, like, oh yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, look at yourselves, take a good, hard look at yourselves in the mirror. And see if you're the real problem in the world and not everyone else. That's it.
It's me enough to wrap this thing up.
Yeah. Oh, it's just John.
I think our host turned into Dracula.
Guys, you can find me on Twitter. I'm right there at John_Blaine. Very simple, very easy. Even a dead monkey can find me on Twitter. As far as final thoughts for tonight, first of all, I want to again send a huge thank you to the International Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame for this amazing weekend that me and Carl were able to be a part of. Everybody we met, from Seth Turner to Mike, Bravo, everybody there's a slew of people. We appreciate everything from this past weekend, and like I said, we are a proud sponsor of them. As far as that topic that everybody has been talking about tonight, I'm going to be in agreement on it. If I find out about it, shit's about to get real. And again, that's not a threat. That's a promise. But yeah, I got nothing else to say for my final thoughts. So I think it's safe to say, well, let me take this. There we go. Okay. I think it's safe to say we can finally wrap the show up for tonight. And again, I want to send a huge thank you to the International Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. Everybody Carl and I met up there. It was great. Some of you guys now are not only good friends, but are we look as family members of this crazy network that we have. But for Carl, for Costa, and for Ryan, I am John. Again, folks, you will have a crazy week of pro wrestling coming up. You got Clash of the Castle. You have Worlds Collide. You got All Out. Next Tuesday, 8 p.m., we will be here to recap everything the best we can. And I don't even mean the best we can, the way I know we can, which is kick ass and take names. But until then, we'll see you guys next time, and watch your logos.